Rare videos of World War I, 1918. The numbers: 2 million German soldiers were killed, 1,800,000 Russian soldiers were killed, 1,400,000 French soldiers were killed, 1,100,000. It was a war where the generals dehumanized their own troops. The strategy of British and French generals was that if they killed each other on a one-to-one basis, the Allies would win the war because they had more soldiers to sacrifice. There is a scene in the movie All Quiet on the Western Front where the Germans storm an Allied trench, take the trench, then are ordered back to the base because the generals had no intention of keeping the trench. Simply an exercise to keep the boys busy. Extra rations for those who survived. World War I, also known as the Great War, was a global conflict that lasted from 1914 to 1918. It was one of the deadliest conflicts in history, with millions of soldiers and civilians killed or wounded. The war was fought between two main alliances, the Allies, which consisted of countries such as France, Britain, Russia, and the United States, and the Central Powers, which included Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. The war began on the 28th of July, 1940, when Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, following the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. This event triggered a chain reaction of alliances and military mobilizations that eventually led to a global conflict. The war was fought on multiple fronts, including the Western Front in France and Belgium, the Eastern Front in Russia, and the Italian Front in Italy. The war saw the introduction of new military technologies and tactics, such as trench warfare, machine guns, and poison gas, which led to massive casualties and widespread destruction. The war had a profound impact on the world. It led to the downfall of several empires, including the German, Austro-Hungarian, and Russian empires, and redrew the map of Europe and the Middle East. The war also led to the rise of the United States as a global superpower and set the stage for World War II. The war ended on the 11th of November, 1918, with the signing of the Armistice of Compiègne. The Treaty of Versailles was signed the following year, imposing harsh penalties on Germany and contributing to widespread resentment among the German people. The legacy of World War I continues to be felt today, with many countries still grappling with the consequences of the war. It remains one of the most significant events in modern history, and its impact on the world is still studied and debated by historians and scholars today.